I decided from that day forward, if I ever got my shit together, he would never beat me again, ever.
I met a gypsy.
We're all still gathering so much data in a sense of like what your career can be and what your, like how this shit can play out. Like even Eli switching from Yamaha, from Cowie to Yamaha, it's like, yeah, Villo would have never had that perspective had Eli not done that. Like,
Exactly.
like Villo was literally that. Like he'd won the championships, got the bread, and then was like, well, no one just switches teams, you know, the way that, like, I've just won all these championships in a row. Like, okay, that's it. But then it's like, you now get that data from Eli. And then now...
Well, nor was no one probably willing to pay him what he made at Cowie, too, you know? And you got to think about that. Like, am I going to go switch a team and make less money? And no.
True,
you know?
huh?
But, like you said, it is perspective, too. Like, now he sees what Eli's did and was like, oh, man, maybe I should have done that. But, you know, at the end of the day, I think those guys, like, they don't have regrets in the sense of they achieved a lot. Could they have achieved a lot more? Probably so. But, you know, I compare it to, like, you know, Michael Jordan. He won 4 championships, retired. He could, had he not come back, he would be known as winning, you know, 4 championships. But he had a break. He re-solidified himself. He got his whatever mental, physical body in order and came back. And
the hunger.
Now probably the best athlete, you know, in the conversation of best athletes, most winningest 6 titles. Sorry, excuse me. I'm thinking of the GOAT Tom. But either way, like, that's what I feel like I had, and obviously I can't compare myself by any means to Michael Jordan, but I joke around and say I retired last year and I came back this year.
Well, dude, look at, like, there's actually, you could go through a crazy list of guys like Kelly Slater, man. I think Kelly Slater won, like, I'm not the biggest surfing diehard, but it's like, I think he won like 5 or 6 and then fully retired, like years away. And then came back because Andy Irons was killing it and was like, okay, there's a guy, like, I want to beat that dude. And now he's a 10-time or 11-time world champion. The guy won Pipeline at 50. 50 years. Like, are you serious, bro?
Yeah, and it's crazy, man. Like I said, I think you can only maintain the top of any sport for so long. And I don't think it's physically. It's more mentally, you know, like, it's just, and that's anything, like, to maintain a certain level of dominance can only last so long until you just can't handle it mentally. So, like I said, whatever reason, whether it's retiring or taking a break, and that's what, same thing. I think if Villo would have changed teams, or if, say, he literally took a year off, you know, he would have probably came back and been like, you know what, that was the best thing for me. But you never know, you know, and like we say in our sport, health is key, and all these greats still have that, you know. So there's no handbook, there's no certain way of doing it. As much as our sport nowadays wants to make everything a handbook and, like, hey, this is what you do from age 16 to 30, it's not the case. No matter how hard people try, like, every guy is different. Every guy has their own needs, and every guy's going to perform to a different level and respond to things differently, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the message that ultimately I'm trying to get at, is like, the sport has become so formulaic to where it's like, you have to do it this way, this way, this way, give us your 3 titles and then you're done. Or like, you've got to win 3 lights titles in a row or you ain't going to be and it's just like, we kind of, and that's why I think, like, for you to do what you did, for Eli to do what he did, like, you guys kind of are rewriting the book in a sense. And it's like, I hope it gives you guys more freedom in a sense, because it's like, you almost had to fight tooth and nail. Like it hurt the relationship in a lot of ways to like want to do what you did, but then it's going to play out as a net positive. And it's like, if people had a little bit less rigidity around their idea of exactly what needs to happen, then maybe you'd get better athletes, you'd get happier athletes, you'd get longer careers, you'd get more potential winners. Like, I just feel like it could be like an overall kind of healthier deal,
Yeah, no doubt. And that's where I think you just said it. Like, you have to be open to change. And it's so easy to say, man, Ricky did it this way, James did it this way, and even within teams now, like I see it all the time with the amateurs or the 250 programs, and it's like, all right, we're all going to stick you in this box. And it may work. It may work 80% of the time, and that might be good enough for a manufacturer or for these teams to go, okay, that was what we were hoping for. But like you said, when you do get these guys that can win championships on the 250 or 450 level, it's going to be done differently. It might be year 1, it might be year 3, and it might be in due time, and it might not. Everyone's career is going to be different, and I do think to an extent you do have to have someone in your corner holding you accountable and telling you what's wrong or what's right or what a good perspective is. But at the same time, you do have to trust the athlete and what they've gone through and what they know does simply work for them. And if you don't, like you said, that relationship can unmingle a lot of things, and I think, like you said, even with, like when I look at Eli, like I feel like with him and Kawasaki, it was nothing really directly that happened that maybe why he wanted to change, or that last year he didn't have the results that he did 2 years before. It was just maybe, like you said, you need, as a relationship, it has to be 50-50, whether it's marriage, your spouse, racing, like, and sometimes it can be flip-sided. And in our sport, I do think it's tough to be your own athlete and your own person and make those decisions because of how much money is being spent on you. So it's a fine line. It really is tough. But like you said, I do hope that it does get to a point, and I think maybe certain teams do it better than others where they do listen to the rider and their wants, but within respect, would hope that when they ask the rider to do something or something out of the rider, that they get the same in return. And that's fair, right?
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.